Hello and good evening to you. It's 18:30 GMT. Welcome to Key Point tonight. It's live from our news hub here at Desawa here in Accra. My name is Alfred Conce. Tonight on Key Point, the agenda and the focus is on parliamentary proceedings grind to a halt as minority boycott sittings insisting they are served copies of the handing over notes as stipulated by the transition law. So that's what's happening. We'll be interrogating the issues that the minority put out at the press conference earlier today here on Key Points. Stay with us. Okay, so welcome back to Key Point here on TV3. Now, the Presidential Transition Act, indeed, does stipulate, and I want you to just have a look at it on your screens right now. If you look at the availability of handing over notes, it's 7.1 of the Presidential Transition Act. It says the Administrator General shall make available to the person elected as president the original copies of the handing over notes. It goes on actually to also does stipulate in the next specific page relating to that part of it that it should actually be made available to the next president in that respect. The original copies of the handing over notes. As you can see on your screens, of the 5 other copies, the Administrator General shall retain 1 copy, and 1 copy shall be sent respectively to 1. Parliament, the Chief Justice, the Council of State, and the Public Records and Archives Administration Department. So that part of the law is what the minority in Parliament is demanding that it be fulfilled. That is their demand as we speak at the moment. Yes, earlier today, they had a press conference addressed by the minority leader, the Honorable Seche Mensah-Bonsu, already raising those questions about why they do not have that particular portion of the transition bill, actually, or the act being fulfilled. Okay, so I want to just get into this a lot more detail, where we have the minority in Parliament also serving the notice that they may boycott last-minute approval of certain agreements which they argue government is illegally pushing through. The minority leader, Seche Mensah-Bonsu, also cited the disregard of the House in relation to handing over notes in the ongoing transition process and the tabling of some new loans, describing the practice as very unfortunate. That is the concern of the minority. I've been joined in studio by the Member of Parliament for the Bibiani and Riaso Bekwai constituency, the Honorable Kingsley Abuajijidu. I thank you. It's good to have you. Good evening to you. Brother, what exactly are you seeking to do by boycotting sittings in the House?
Thank you very much, my brother, and a very good evening to your cherished viewers all over the world, wherever they might be, especially the people of Western region, Western North, and the people of Bibiani and Riaso Bekwai. I say a special good evening to them, and a special thank you for re-electing me as their Member of Parliament.
Great.
My brother, what we are saying is very simple. Why will a government that has just about 2 weeks to live be contracting loans to overburden a new government that is yet to take over? Don't forget that during the election campaign, all political parties that contested the election had their manifestos. And in the manifestos, they made a lot of promises. It presupposes that once your manifesto was rejected by the good people of Ghana, your policies were not accepted. That being the case, it means that the new government coming has its own policies and procedures. They are going to fulfill their promises made to Ghana.
No, but then the life of this parliament ends on the dawn of January 6th into January 7th. We do understand that. And so this particular parliament still has the life to continue the business of the House. There's the majority thinks that you intend to sabotage and stall the business of the House because you are going to have the majority in the 7th Parliament, and that's how come you do not want this to be done.
Nothing could be far from the truth. Nothing could be far from the truth. The fact is that the loans that they are contracting, are they going to use it in the next 2 weeks? That's a bigger question they should answer. But in the Transition Act, we are very much aware of the Article 61, provision, Article 61(2), that provides that the life of a president is for 4 years, beginning from the day that he's sworn in.
Absolutely.
No dispute about that. But this same parliament or this same government even supervised the enactment of the Presidential Transition Act,
True.
which was even amended just about 2 months ago.
In October.
Yes, in October, November. That also provides that, I mean, like you said, copies of the handing over notes must be made available to the president-elect and also copied to the parliament. And in the handing over notes, we are supposed to have all accurate reporting of activities of the government that has lost power, and up to the day of preparation. And Act 845 also states that it must be prepared and submitted to the Administrator General at least 1 month before the general election, which means that this report should have been ready by November 7. Be it as it may, we are told that it wasn't. Now that they presented it just about a day or two ago. Even then, the Act also states that there should be projections of the development that are supposed to take place from the day of preparation to the 6th of January, which they will hand over. None of this has been done. Today we are being told, we are being called upon to approve loans. The bigger question, as I asked earlier on, is: are they going to use the loans they are contracting today in the next 2 weeks?
So if I get the understanding,
the answer is no.
If I get the understanding, so your problem or your issue is with the fact that the loans will have an impact on the next administration, which you are going to. But then you cannot question the locus and the authority of this 6th Parliament to conduct such a business in the House.
But even then, my brother, I'm not a lawyer, but the lawyers will tell you that every law has its spirit and what do you call it, the words. So now that, yes, you have the power to do whatever you're supposed to do until the 6th of January 2017, no dispute about that. But if you are going to overburden an incoming government, because I tell you, every loan is supposed to be for a specific purpose. These loans that we are being called upon to approve now is for a specific purpose. What if the purpose for which we are contracting the loans are not the priority areas of the government, the president-elect? What happens to the money? Do we return it to the lenders? Or do we keep it until we decide that I want to do that? Or they want to tie the hands of the new government?
That's the absence of this handing over notes affect the workings of the House in terms of conducting the government business.
It does, especially in the part that we are supposed to have accurate projections of the development from November 7 to 6 January in the 2 months. If these loans are not reasonably within the projections, then they are unnecessary. We have no business approving them. If they are in, we still have questions to ask them. Are they really relevant for the incoming government? Do you have the power to overburden or to put obligations on the people of Ghana through the new government that is coming in? Is that a priority area for the new government that is coming in? If not, why do you want to rush to contract loans? My brother, would you contract a loan for a new house when you have your house to live in and you don't need that money? Don't forget that loans are not grants. Loans are not gifts. They are obligations on you and I. Tomorrow, the new government will have to probably look at increasing taxes, or the tax cut that we have promised will not be able to fulfill it because the previous government has tied our hands to a particular financial obligation. Is it a comeback, plan? So that they tie the hands of the new government so that it's not able to fulfill its promises. They go and take against that, yes, we told you this government cannot perform.
I have heard a member of the majority, the Honorable George Law, who is a member of the Parliament for North Dai, make the argument that you are stalling and sabotaging the work of this Parliament because you are going to have the majority in the 7th Parliament and you'll be able to push through your works and your government's dealings in the 7th Parliament, and that's why before the expiration of the life of this Parliament on January 6th midnight to January 7th, you are putting such roadblocks in their way so they are not able to fulfill their mandate.
My brother, we have cooperated with them over the last 40 years. If indeed we wanted to sabotage them, we could have done so within the last 4 years. Why would we wait until the 11th hour to sabotage them? It doesn't make sense. You see, maybe because they have lost election and the margin with which they lost is unprecedented and unexpected, they are probably dazed. That is why they are saying what they are saying. Otherwise, I've put a question to you. Does it make sense that you are going to leave office in the next 2 weeks? Then you go ahead unilaterally to contract your organization. When the money is not even supposed to come within the next 2 weeks, that we are going to stay in power. Does it make sense? Leave the hands of the new government to decide. After all, we all went to the people of Ghana with our various manifestos. We told them what our priority areas are. We told them what we are going to do for them. We know for sure how we are going to fund the resources to do whatever we have promised. So leave the new government alone. Don't overburden them.
There's a lot more issues we would have to respond to, Honorable, but just so you know why the minority is making this claim, it's actually enshrined in the Presidential Transition Act, where the availability of handing over notes states specifically that one of the copies of this handing over notes shall be sent respectively to the Parliament, the Chief Justice, the Council of State, the Public Records and Archives Administration Department. And so it's on the basis of this that the minority in Parliament is making this demand earlier today at the press conference. I still have the Honourable with me in studio right here, and it means by reference that this right to information bill, for example, with what you've resorted to do, will not have it passed into law.
Well, we are only hoping. We still have tomorrow, and then we have the 5th and the 6th to sit. So we are told. So we hope that whoever is supposed to do the submission of a copy of the handing over notes will do so maybe by close of day today. I know that the day is almost gone, but in Parliament it's not abnormal for us to even receive documents midnight. So they might bring it, and then we read it, and then we go ahead to see whether, you see, what we are doing is not about sabotaging government. All that we are saying is that give us copies of the handing over notes. Let's be sure that the activities that you want us to undertake as Parliament, that is nearing its end, is indeed within your projections of development for the next 2 months, or now 2 weeks to the end of the term of the House.
But then I know that you've started deliberations on your emoluments. I mean, the emolument for the president and the vice. Well, while you do that, and then the president also does that for you members of Parliament. And then the question will be that, will the absence of handing over notes affect the deliberations of your emoluments?
Definitely.
Because it appears that when it comes to money for MPs, you have consensus, and there's no difference in opinion.
For a point of correction, we don't deliberate on our own emoluments.
Absolutely, yeah. I stated earlier that the president and the vice.
The president will set up a committee. A copy of the report will be brought to Parliament. We will deliberate on the detail of the emoluments of the executive and the judiciary.
In accordance with the Constitution.
In accordance with the Constitution. Even that is affected as we speak. Because if we start today, it is part of the issues that we're going to discuss. Because we are not able to sit, we couldn't discuss it. So it's not like we have isolated only the part that favors us, and then we are leaving the part that doesn't favor us. No. We in the MPP are very principled. Once we say yes, it is yes. If we say no, it's no. So it's not like, oh, we said we are not going to do any business, but because this one affects us, no. We didn't do anything today. And if nothing happens, we are not going to work tomorrow as well. And then on the 5th and 6th, if we don't
you have less than 3 sittings before this Parliament dies.
Definitely.
And you are not going to sit until you have your document.
Yes.
I mean, the handing over notes.
I don't think these documents have been properly submitted to the president-elect, and the law says that copies must be sent to Parliament, why should this even last for more than 30 minutes? Reasonably, one would have expected that the moment we said it, we were expecting that, because when we were even adjoining, they said within 1 hour, we'll come back. So we're expecting that within 1 hour, and look at the Flagstaff House and Parliament House.
And this,
within 1 hour, we're expecting that we'll get copies.
And this move you've taken, you say, affect deliberations on the emoluments for the
Definitely
president and the vice?
Everybody. So I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what is going to happen if they are not able to meet this condition for us to deliberate on that very important issue until we hand over, because that cannot stall the handing over. We will have to hand over to the new government anyway. So what happens? And I'm told that the new government will not have the locus to discuss emoluments of the previous government and the previous parliament. So then we'll have
the
a
life
serious
of this
constitutional
parliament
crisis.
dies with every other bill,
Everything.
whatever consideration stage that is,
Everything.
even if it's in the final stage,
Yes.
you know, because the life of the parliament, the next parliament cannot deliberate on the bills
Unless
of the
you
previous
resubmit
parliament.
it.
In the next stage. It's an interesting case scenario. We'll
Very,
see
very
how it
interesting.
pans out. But thank you for your time. Let me just say that the Honorable George Law is a member of parliament for the North Dye constituency of the NDC. He was supposed to join us, but unfortunately he didn't turn up. So I believe that at least the thorny issues have actually been discussed, but we'll see how it pans out before the close of the day tomorrow, because you're going on the Christmas break tomorrow. So what that means is that it's going to be after Christmas, the 5th and 6th, and then you sit till your life ends.
Yeah, but the speaker has the power to call us even on Sunday. So it will not be abnormal for the speaker
it will not be
call
abnormal,
us
especially
on
when it
Sunday.
has to do with your emoluments.
No, it's not to do with the emoluments. I've told you we don't discuss our emoluments.
Yeah.
We are going to discuss the emoluments of the executive and the judiciary.
Honorable, thank you. He is a member of parliament for the BNA and Fiaso Bekwai constituency.
Yes.
Grateful. I wish you all the best. The Honorable Kingsley Abuajijedu there. Thank you for watching Key Point.